Hey everyone, my name is Caleb Rivera. I'm a fourth year medical student at the University of Washington School of Medicine and applying to ophthalmology for residency training. Just wanted to make a video for you guys just to answer any questions you might have about the process and choosing ophthalmology as a specialty. So what does an ophthalmologist do? So ophthalmologists diagnose and treat all eye diseases. They also perform eye surgery. So this is the big thing that distinguishes them from optometrists. They do cataract surgery, they insert tubes for glaucoma, they repair retinal detachments and do other kind of retinal surgeries, cornea transplants, all kinds of plastic surgery from eyelid repair to brow lifts and fixing eyes that are misaligned with strabismus surgery. They do a whole lot of different procedures. They also prescribe and fit eyeglasses and contact lenses as well. So here's some reasons why I chose ophthalmology. It provides a great balance of operating room time and clinic time. I knew I wanted to be in the operating room in some kind of capacity, but I wasn't a huge fan of the long general surgery cases and being on my feet all day. So ophthalmology provides the opportunity to be involved in shorter OR cases, 10 to 20 minutes sometimes. Most of the time they have great outcomes, and you get to sit down while you're working, which is a small perk about the specialty. You also get a lot of time in clinic, and you're able to spend a lot of time with patients in that environment as well. You get to do lots of procedures in the OR and in the office, anywhere from intravitreal injections to removing foreign bodies from the eye at the slit lamp to laser procedures, and many, many more. In ophthalmology, you also have the opportunity to build longitudinal relationships, and that was something that was important to me. I think relationships are very important, and I just wanted the opportunity to build strong relationships with patients and see them multiple times. You also get to take care of patients young and old. Depending on where you live and where you work, you may be seeing patients in the NICU or the nursery, and then you may go see a 95-year-old who's been coming to you every year for the past 20 years for a yearly checkup. So I wanted a wide array of patient experiences, and ophthalmology provides that. It's also a very visual specialty, and I'm a visual learner, so I really love how you can see the pathology happening with your eyes at the slit lamp and with the indirect scope, and you're able to see if it's responding to treatment or getting worse. And the physical exam is a huge part of the patient interaction, and being able to use those skills to see and to help people is a really cool part of the specialty. Global service is also important to me. I participated in some mission trips before medical school, and I knew I wanted to continue to do that as a physician. So I think ophthalmology provides a unique skill set to where you can go into these countries and really make a big impact with procedures like cataract surgery that don't involve a ton of follow-up time, and you can go in and really change these people's lives and get them plugged back into their community. In all honesty, work-life balance is really important to me as well, and ophthalmology provides that. You're able to have a great time at work, but also it's a specialty that gives you a lot of opportunities outside of work as well. Here's a little bit about the scope of practice for ophthalmology. So training is 4 years long. First year was traditionally a year of internal medicine or a transitional year, but now programs are moving towards an integrated internship. So what this involves is 3 months of ophthalmology training during your first year, as well as internal medicine or general surgery training as well. So when you match ophthalmology, you'll automatically get a spot in the internal medicine department or the general surgery department at the same institution that you matched for ophthalmology. I think there's a lot of perks about this integrated internship. One being you only have to move once, which will relieve some of that financial burden. You also get to be integrated into your home ophthalmology department a lot sooner. You get to know the faculty and the EMR and your way around the clinic and your way around the hospital before you're a full-fledged ophthalmology resident. You also get to work alongside your colleagues in internal medicine and general surgery and get to know them. And this is really cool because those people are the ones that are going to be consulting you as an ophthalmology resident. So being able to know their names and their faces beforehand will go a long way during those late night consults. And seeing familiar faces around the hospital will be nice as well. Something else that this integrated internship will do is hopefully it'll flatten the learning curve that a lot of PGY2 residents experience when they start ophthalmology training. As a lot of you guys know, we don't get a whole lot of ophthalmology teaching in medical school, so that first year of ophthalmology training can be quite overwhelming. So this integrated year will help kind of ease you into it as you get 3 months of ophthalmology in that first year. So average salary is going to differ depending on where you live and what you do and what fellowship you do. But here's some averages that I found: $304,000 for academic and $370,000 for private practice. Most ophthalmologists are in the OR 1 to 2 days, and the rest are in clinic. And like I mentioned before, you're able to do a variety of procedures in clinic, which is pretty cool. Here's some electives that I recommend doing if you're interested in going into ophthalmology. The first one is a 2-week rotation at Heart Review Eye Institute during your 3rd year. If you have any inkling about ophthalmology or just want to explore the field more, I definitely recommend doing this rotation. It gives you the opportunity just to get to know the faculty and get around a slit lamp and figure out how it works, and just kind of see the flow of a clinic. And I think it's really important just to get your face into the program and get to know some of the attendings there. If you decide ophthalmology is what you want to do, then I definitely recommend taking the 4-week rotation at Heart Review Eye Institute early on in your 4th year. I took it as my first rotation of 4th year. And this will give you more opportunities to get to know attendings and jump on some research with attendings. During my rotation, I was able to get done 2 case reports and have those submitted for publication before my application was submitted, and that helped me a lot during the interview process. OA rotations are kind of a hard topic that I don't really have a right answer for. I personally didn't do an OA rotation, but a lot of people that I met on the interview trail had done at least 1 or 2 OA rotations. I think it's just ultimately it's up to you. If you think it's going to make you a more competitive applicant to do one, then go for it. Some reasons to do an OA rotations would be if you really want to be in a specific region of the country, or if you really want to be at a specific program, then I think it would be smart to do an OA rotation at that program or in that region, just to show that you're willing to make that move and attend that program for training, as well as meet the faculty and get your face into the program before interview process begins. I think OA rotations can kind of be a double-edged sword, though, and you have to be really honest with yourself about the type of person that you are. If you're shy and it takes a while for you to open up and you don't do real well around new groups and stuff like that, then OA rotations could potentially hurt you. So you just got to be really honest with yourself, and if you feel like doing an OA rotation is really going to strengthen your applications, then I would say go for it. And I think it definitely would be valuable to spend more time in another ophthalmology program somewhere else, so you can kind of compare it to UW and just see how different programs differ. I also did a sub-internship in medicine. There's no sub-internships available in ophthalmology, so I decided to do one in medicine just to prepare me more for intern year. So letters of recommendation for ophthalmology, 3 letters are required, and most people submit 2 from ophthalmology attendings and 1 from an internal medicine or surgery attending. I personally submitted 2 from ophthalmology attendings that I worked on case reports with, and 1 from my internal medicine attending during my 3rd year rotation. Make sure to know these letter writers well, and make sure that they can speak to specific traits about you, about your character and your work ethic and personality. These letters will go a lot farther in the interview process than a generic letter written by a program director that you've only met one time. Ophthalmology is a really small world, so the letters are really important, and strong letters can take you a long way on the interview trail and get you interviews that you weren't expecting to get. So something unique about ophthalmology is all 3 letters must be uploaded before you can submit your application, and that's a little different than the ERAS application that other specialties use. So make sure you give your letter writers enough time to have their letters written and submitted, probably early July, mid-July, just to make sure that they're in before you're ready to submit your application. The match cycle is a little unique for ophthalmology, as it uses its own match website. the San Francisco match, and it's also an early match, so you find out where you're going in the middle of January, which is pretty cool because you get to find out before the rest of your classmates. The application opens early June. Most people submit late July, early August. I think I submitted August 15th, so a little bit later than that. Interview invites begin in October, early November, and the majority of your interviews occur in November and December. So I would make sure to plan ahead and really just schedule November and December off during your fourth year to give you time to travel around to all these interviews. I think it would be pretty much impossible to be interviewing and doing a rotation at the same time. So every program has a different application deadline, so just be aware of that when you're applying to programs, and all these deadlines are listed on the San Francisco Match website. So just be aware of when your earliest deadline is and make sure to have your application in before that. People do apply pretty broadly just due to the competitiveness of the specialty. I applied to 64 programs, so just be willing to cast a wide net when you're applying to these programs. And it all depends on how competitive you think you are with scores and stuff like that, but just be cognizant that people apply to a lot of programs in ophthalmology. Another unique thing about it is you cannot submit multiple personal statements. And so you can't customize a personal statement for a specific school or specific region of the country. So when you're writing your personal statement, just be aware of that and just write a strong personal statement that can be applied to any program around the country. So here's some tips on how to be competitive if you do decide to apply to ophthalmology. Step 1 score is important as it is a competitive specialty. January 2019 averages of matched applicants was 244 and unmatched was 231. So make sure you study hard for step 1 and try not to close any doors with your score. Programs do use it as a filter, and some programs receive between 400 and 500 applications and interview 60 people for 3 to 6 spots. So that's part of the reason that ophthalmology is pretty competitive, is just how small the class sizes are. Research in ophthalmology is also always a plus. Like I said before, just make relationships with attendings during those rotations and ask them if they have any case reports they need written up. And they're usually pretty quick, and you're usually able to submit those for publication within a couple weeks of writing them. So getting a couple of those on your application will definitely serve you well. Also meet with Dr. Francis as soon as you think you may be interested in ophthalmology. She's a great mentor and a great resource. She's the medical student director for the ophthalmology department at the Eye Institute at Harborview. So she'll be able to answer any questions that you have about the specialty and just guide you along the way. Also contact Dr. Cabrera if you're interested in doing ophthalmology research. She's the medical student research director. So she will put you in contact with attendings that are looking for medical student help on their research projects. And that's how I actually got my first research project, is contacting her. I would also say try and honors as many clinical rotations as possible. This will just show programs that you're a clinically sound student and you're able to work hard and relate well with patients and with the people that you're working with. Here are the fellowship options for ophthalmology if you do decide to pursue more training after your residency. There's a lot of opportunities, and most of them are 1 year long, with surgical retina and oculoplastics being 2 years. So if you do decide you want more training and you want to continue specializing, there's plenty of opportunities and plenty of fellowships to choose from. Overall, I think ophthalmology is a great field if you're looking for a great quality of life, want to do procedures and work in the OR, have longitudinal relationships with patients, and serve globally. It'll really offer all of that for you, and just kind of think about it if those things are important to you in a specialty. Feel free to contact me at any time about anything with any questions that you have. My email is here on the slide. I'll try to help you out if I know the answers or point you in the right direction and get you in contact with the right people if I'm not able to answer your questions. Hope this was helpful for you, and hope you have a great day.